Good day, viewers. Welcome to yet another fun-filled and exciting episode of your favorite show, that is, of course, The Social League. I am Hanchuka Popi, and I will be the moderator for today's discussion. But before we tap right into today's discussion, let's take a quick trip to the marketplace. Well, last week we were joined by Carly as well as Philip Luel, and we discussed same-sex marriages. And if you missed it, don't you worry, don't you fear. I'm, of course, Hanchuka Popi, and because I love all of you so much, I am going to give you a recap of what happened last week. Let's take a look. Previously on The Social League.
I practice in Namibia, and I've been dealing with a few of the court cases that's been going on relating to same-sex marriages and the recognition thereof.
Yes.
Hi, good morning. My name is Philip Luel, and I'm an architect and a lecturer at the Namibia University of Science and Technology. And I am in a same-sex marriage, though not acknowledged in this country, and have been dealing with quite a number of issues surrounding that status as a Namibian citizen with a non-Namibian partner.
You must remember the legal framework is exactly the same. The legal consequences, the legal protection, the legal implications are exactly the same for a same-sex marriage as for an opposite-sex marriage. It's almost like asking couple A and couple B, how do your marriages differ? Whether you're both in opposite-sex marriages, it's the same implication. Each marriage has its own dynamic, its own personal issues and things, but at the end of the day, it's still just a couple moving through the world, living a life together and building a future.
And perhaps, again, to add to that is, in Namibia, I think, in our case, all institutions besides the Ministry of Home Affairs acknowledges my partner as my husband, right? So my sort of pension fund, my employer, my medical aid, like our banks, we're co-signatories, have joint bank accounts. Everybody just simply acknowledges that we're, a household, a family. Of course, our kids' school, their doctors, hospitals, everybody. Besides the Ministry of Home Affairs, that acknowledges that we are, really a family unit and operate as such.
Yes.
That in the current discussion around the Domestic Violence, Preventing of Domestic Violence Act, the reference to partnerships was specifically made to be partners of opposite sex. So there's like an active attempt to to sort of bracket out same-sex relationships from the protections against domestic violence, which is entirely outrageous, right? I mean, so I think that really means that the government can no longer stand on the stance to say, oh, we're not actively persecuting or discriminating against same-sex or LGBTQ people.
I agree with Philip 100%. The reality is it'll have to come from the top. Firstly, we'll have to look at legislation, and it is our courts and as well as our parliament's duties to expand our laws to be inclusive. I mean, we've got articles in our constitution providing for the right to equality and not to be discriminated against. You have the right to family, you have the right to dignity, which is enshrined in our constitution, and you cannot cherry pick the constitutional rights that you want to give to your citizens.
Now, today's topic in the Social League studios is, of course, the youth in entertainment. Now, the entertainment industry is one industry that is it's not so easy to come into, and when you're coming into this industry, you need to come in quite hard. Now, I am joined by an artist, a producer, a dancer, and he recently released a song that has over 20 4,000 views on YouTube. And of course, our very own Namibian musician who has such an angelic voice. I'm sure each and every one of you can't wait to hear who these guests are. But because I am that guy, I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hello everybody. First and foremost, I am Primrose Harasis. So I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for that introduction.
Yes.
But yes, I am a musician, and you know, I've always had a passion for singing since I can remember. And I'm very happy to be here, especially joined here by the amazingly talented YMZ. So you let them know who you are.
Yeah, what up my people? It's your boy YMZ Official. I'm very honored and pleased to be given this platform to showcase and to tell you more about me, since many people wanted to actually know about me. Thank you for giving me this platform, and stay tuned. Yeah.
Right, so to kickstart today's discussion, please let me know. Let's start with you, Primrose. When did you first join the entertainment industry?
Like I said, it's always been something that has been a part of me. I feel like the song was what the world saw, but ever since I can remember, singing has been in my blood.
Yeah.
Like when I was 10, I started playing the keyboard, and then I was like, okay, this music thing is actually, you know, are you like, you just hear things in your head, you hear melodies, you're like, you know, I'm pretty sure you can like relate.
Yeah.
And then I grew up a bit. I sang at school. I was given that platform, and that's when I realized like it's something I want to do.
Yeah.
And in the December 2022, obviously like my parents were like, first finish school.
Yeah.
You know, then you can pursue like this career. But then we found a producer, and then I released my first song, Nibbles.
Yeah.
So that was like my introduction, kind of.
Yeah. What about you?
I did not actually start with music. I started as a dancer,
Yeah.
you know, and then slowly, you know, my inspiration comes from abroad, South Africa, since we are basically influenced by South Africans. I think one of my role models, the last one, started doing music, and I was like, okay, let me try this music thing, which was last year around June. And then people actually liked what I did on the song, and then I was like, okay, let me keep on going.
Yeah.
So I would not say I started with music. I started as a dancer, you know, just a basic influencer on Instagram and so on and so on. So I was influenced by most of the influencers to become or to do music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your journeys are quite amazing journeys. I mean, you started off as a dancer, and you just knew I need to tap into the singing. I just want, you know.
Yeah.
But you're in an industry that forces you to do quite a lot. You know, you are in front of cameras, you are attending events, you are performing. So how do you balance it all? Because I know it can be really hectic sometimes. You know, you have a presentation tomorrow, you have an assignment due tomorrow, and then today you are presenting, you are in camera. So what do you then do?
You know, like for me, especially with the background that my family has given me, education is so vital and so important. So it wasn't a thing of like, yeah, I should do like music 90% and education 10%.
Yeah.
And I was so blessed that like the course that I'm doing is part-time. So I still get time to choose. And because like I am my own record label, I don't feel rushed to like release music. It's at my time, at my pace, and when like, cause I hate to say, but I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like you understand, like you want your thing to be perfect, so I don't want to rush things. And especially being blessed with my course, I get really time to focus on both of them. But like mostly education also.
Same as me. I'm not rushed to do anything music. I take my time, so I'm focused right now on my school. That's why people were. I think I promised them an EP since last year, June. I'm only dropping it this year, April. So, I'm not rushed to do anything. Or I am also my own record label, and I'm just doing it as a hobby. Most people do it, you know. They do it full time. I'm not a full time artist. I'm a student, and I'm also an entrepreneur.
I
So
love
I'm focused on putting out branding, doing my own businesses, because once I'm done with school, you know, it's kind of hard to get a job these days. I should have something to lean on for a while, you know. Most people when are done with school, they're just at home for 2 to 3 years. So I know once I'm done with school, I have something to do. I have my own businesses. Even if I see my businesses are successful, I don't think I'll continue. I'm not trying to advise that to other kids. I'm just saying, like, that's my own opinion.
Yeah, I love to hear that. You guys are so busy, ne? Like, it's about well to have that lifestyle. But you guys mentioned something that I find very important. You guys are your own record labels, so there's nobody on the side pressuring you like you need to put out this much. And so many times, your fans, for example, people that listen to your music, these people can pressure you. Like if you're not putting out music, they are in your DMs, they are WhatsApping you. Only God knows where they got your number from. So how do you deal with that?
Gets leaked,
I want you to actually go first, like answer first.
Like what do you mean? Like repeat the question?
I'm like, so many times people can pressure you to release things like, why am Zion's Wagner for a dance video? We want something like that. So only God knows how your fans sometimes get your number. So how do you deal with that?
All the situations.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be rude, but from my side of things, like I tend to ignore a lot and just release, and then they're like, boom, okay, did this, and then they are happy. Because if you are like, I'll do it soon, you forget. You are also a person. We are all people. We have a busy lifestyle, and so on and so on. For them, they think we are just dancers, we are artists. That's all we do. Now we have a busy life. We are students. We have to finish our assignments. Go to school. So. Yeah, I'm sorry, but most of the time I just ignore most of the people and then just put out my work. Yeah.
For me, like I feel like if people are not asking me, I feel like you're not doing something right.
And
wherever I go, people are like, "It's the music. Where's the music coming?" And then I'm like, okay, it kind of puts pressure on me to be better than I was before, which I kind of like. And it also makes you be like, okay, whatever I do, it must be like here or I'm not doing it. Because sometimes when you feel pressured, you just do quantity over quality.
You just put quantity.
So for me, it's always like, I love that people ask, because it's like, okay, what I'm doing is not bad, but it's also like, I must make sure what I give out, like if whatever happens.
Quality, so people can talk about it over a period of time. What's the
yes.
point of releasing something, and then people talk about it for a day or two. I want people to feel it, When I release music, you should talk about it throughout the year. Oh, did you see that guy's collaboration? Did you see that? That's why we tend to take time.
To perfect the craft.
I love each and everything that you guys are mentioning here today. I love something that Prime Rose said. If they are not asking for your music, then you're not doing something right. If they're not pressuring you to release, then there is something that you most probably are doing wrong. We'll be back right after this short break to continue this discussion. If you are just joining us, you're of course watching The Social League, and today we're talking about all things youth in entertainment. I'm of course joined by YMZ as well as Prime Rose, and these are two amazing musicians in our country, and of course dancers, and I'm really, really excited for the discussion that we are having in studio today. Well, as I've mentioned, you guys are musicians, you guys are within the entertainment sphere. So what are the challenges that you face within this sphere?
A lot of challenges.
Like,
should I say from a point of where I am right now or from a point of where I started?
You can mention
throughout the journey.
Throughout the journey,
Okay, so as for, let me say, once you start, it's not easy to convince Namibians to like your music. Just to be honest, it's really not easy. You have to push, you have to be talented. And one thing I've noticed, it's talent. People don't really choose talent. They choose numbers these days.
Popularity.
Popularity. So you can be how talented. Because I've seen so many talent, but the only thing is people concentrate on numbers. Because you can see a talented guy, let me say, that's where the problem comes in. People tend to choose numbers over talent. So you have to make sure your work is being played so much that people can actually bump to it or listen to it. That's one of the challenges. When you start, you have to push. You don't have to push to, let's say, how do I put it into words? You don't have to push actually. These days you just have to push for popularity. before you can actually want to share
is
your want to share your work, as into you want people to listen to your song and know, okay, there is emotion into it. You first have to give people an image for them to actually listen to you. That's what I've noticed these days. Because let's say you go on Instagram today and you see a guy dressed poorly and so on, and he releases a song. Would you actually want to listen to it?
Yeah.
You would not want to listen to it. But once you see this guy is giving out a good image, he looks nice to you, you actually like his dressing style and so on, that's when you actually want to listen to what he has to say. Yeah, that's what I've noticed, like, in the industry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, well, I love what you said, and I'm just going to add my own personal perspective. I feel like as much as we talk about the industry, it was already, like, it's not something that an artist can live on, like, blindly. Like, you can have a passion for it, but you must know, like, I need side hustles, I need multiple streams of income. Like, be an entrepreneur, have businesses, have side hustles. And also, like, we cannot take away from COVID. Already musicians were having such a rough time and a hard time, you know, already getting gigs or feeling supported even by the government. And then COVID hit, and it just like,
Changes everything.
Boom. It was literally like a boom. So in that sense, like you said, I feel like Namibians, we need to just support each other. I don't want to say that we are not, because I feel like some Namibian artists, I don't want to say names, they are supported, you know? But I do feel like we need to uplift our brothers and sisters, because if we are not the ones holding them up, there's no way that they can really stay up. You know, like you said, we are highly influenced by South African culture. You'll see more South African artists get like paid a certain amount or get multiple gigs in this country than you will see Namibian musicians.
And
exactly.
One more thing about the COVID. I actually think COVID brought something positive to many artists. Because if you take it into terms like, when we were during lockdown, people were actually listening to more music. Most people were more online, That's where everything was based. So from a point of view, I would actually say COVID actually uplifted my career. Because now that we see the pandemic is, let me not say it's over, but reluctant, you would see most, like, let me say most social media platforms are not, you know,
as hype as it used to be.
Very, very, very true. I like a lot that you guys have mentioned. I think the pandemic has brought in essence that, because we've seen DJ with me on Instagram Live.
That's where it comes.
We've seen all these different things, and it was actually quite great. And one important thing that you've mentioned about how, as an artist, there's a lot that your appearance has to do with it nowadays, which is branding is very important. Because believe you me, like he said, if I get on Instagram and your Instagram is just not, it's not
coordinating.
It's like, so that could also be a problem sometimes. So now that we've mentioned the challenges, I'm sure that you guys have also had successes within the industry. I know that you launched your album. I was at your album launch last year, and you, of course, also had about 20,000 views from a song that you released. So let's talk a little bit about that, those successes that you faced in the industry.
I'm like, I want you to go first. I'm like, what?
Okay. Successes in the industry. Ever since I've launched my song, I've got many people reaching out to me. Even people I'll say, wow, okay, this guy reaching out to me, and to my surprise, this is my first song. And people actually reaching out to me on my first song, like gigs, and also, you know, my fan base really grew, my numbers, you know, I'm also getting paid from you know, the streams you guys are giving me, so success is every day, and I'm humbled and grateful, you know. Wherever I go, people can, you know, even if I pass by a small kid in town or something, they're like, Askis, I'm sorry, and I feel like, okay, so actually, I just feel great. I feel like having big fan base that's really supportive. Many people have a big fan base but are not supported at all. You don't see their fans, but actually I'm grateful that I'm loved, and I'm also humbled at the same time. So that's one of my biggest, let me say, successes in the industry, to be loved, in the industry,
Wow, I actually love what you just said, and I think it was something that you said, like every day is a blessing or something like that. Like it's the little wins. You know, for me, I was like, you know, I'm a Christian, so I prayed about everything, and I felt so supported in that journey. Like from the studio, from the way like my producer was like, you must make the song like this, to the launch of the album, from people buying the music to people like just listening and being like, yeah, I listened to your song, and seeing like my family members and fans wear my merchandise. Like that for me was like, wow, like I'm doing something. And just seeing the way music can touch people, it can inspire people. And when you release that song, or when you make that song, you don't really think anyone's gonna listen or that it's gonna have like the effect and the impact that it does. But then when people are DMing you like, oh my gosh, like I love your music, like it touched me, like it helped me heal through this time process, like that's a win. As much as like, what is it, accolades and like people praising you is another thing. I feel like when someone's like, your music changed my life. I feel like that's when you're like, wow, that's the biggest win I can ever do. Like when somebody's like, because of you, I'm grateful. Like because of you, I can, you know, I feel like that's the biggest win for me. But yes, I also had an album launch at DHPS, and the whole like the promotion of it was so amazing, because there were little kids everywhere, and they were like Prime Rose, and it was just like, I feel like that was when I was like, wow. Because, you know, like, I look at myself like as myself, but someone else looks at me and gets inspired. It's like, you are a role model. And when you start, you don't think that you can be that. You don't think that you can really, people can look up to you. So I feel like music has given me a platform that I can be forever grateful for.
Wow. Love, love, love to hear that. Right, so before I let you guys go, of course, I want to know, what are you guys currently working on? What can we expect from you guys in the what can the industry expect from you guys as the Namibian youth doing the most within this entertainment industry?
You can go.
Should I go first? Okay, well, for me personally, it's very important to protect my brand. You know, and like I said, I'm not in any rush whatsoever to rush music. Like, it's all about quality over quantity. So I hope that I can have streams, like, for example, foundations or motivational speeches to inspire kids and young girls, and hopefully also young boys that are watching. You know, because for me, it's as much as it is about entertainment, it's about being something to somebody, like for them to see themselves in me, to know that it is possible, and to not, because sometimes, like, to be honest with you, when I was like, I'm going to sing, people were like, bad influences are everywhere. Like, you're going to do this, you're going to drink this, you're going to take this substance. So for me, I feel like you're touching, you're feeling it a bit too much. So for me, it was very important that people can see themselves in me and see that, like, I'm not doing all of these other things. Like, you can be focused, you can be like, you know, and that people can see themselves in me to be like, she's a really good role model. So obviously more music, more, you know, more amazing things, and just know if I'm taking my time, it's because I'm working. So yeah, hopefully more foundation, you know, foundations, motivational speaking, that's really my aim, you know, to just be an inspiration for the youth. Love, love, love. What about you?
Like I said, people should expect the EP to drop this month, and like international features like Irie Cakes. Actually, we're also working with DJ Castro to release something. So, this year I'm blowing. You might even find me in the US performing and so on. So I'm saying, you should expect big things. I might even get verified by Instagram. Everything, I'm going international this year, so expect the best from me. I'm giving it my 100, even though I have school and so on. But this year I'm pushing, because I made a vow to myself this year. I wrote a list of things. This year I'm going to make my mother super proud. I'm going to make everyone proud, you know, everyone that looks up to me, my friends, my family, they should look at me and say like, wow, that boy from Namibia.
Wow. Exactly. Be an inspiration to the youth.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I loved each and everything about today's discussion. And I must say, you guys are definitely an inspiration, and keep doing the most. And I also see you, Prime Rose, apparently. You don't want to give us too much. And I'm waiting for that EP. Hopefully we can have you here with a young music video, Nyana. So I'm really, really excited. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Right, that was today's episode of Youth in Entertainment. You can, of course, catch them on Instagram at Prime Rose and, of course, at YMZ to make sure that you keep up with the journey and what is happening within the entertainment industry. From us here at Social League, it is, of course, until next week, goodbye.